Hey, want to listen to some tunes?
I literally just sat down. I was about ready to get started to stream, and I just realized that I went to go get water before I stream, so that I have something to drink as I sit here and do something. And then I sit down and I realized, oh, that's right. I literally stood at the sink and just drank everything that was in my cup, and then just walked away. I didn't even refill. I didn't even refill my cup. I just drank it all and just walked away. So I'm probably gonna have to go fill up my cup again real quick, just so that way I have something. And yeah, I'll be right back again. 1 second. Oh yes, hello, hey, Hatman. All right, let me get my headphone back in. Yeah, I have not streamed in God, it must have been months. I don't even know the last time that I actually streamed. After a while of streaming, I just kind of just lose shit to say. Kind of don't really have much to say much on that at the moment anyway, but you know. All right. Ugh, excuse me. Alright, so let's take a look. Is it console capture? Yeah, that's the one. Let's take a look for a second and see what's going on here. So, I, at the moment, have... Are you still on that Yume Nikki project? Yeah, I'm still on it. I'm very bad at keeping up with it, but... we're still looking for... we're still looking for a translator. So yeah, this is what we got going on right now. We have a camera that sort of pans through this sort of area that I got going on. And we got all kinds of stuff going on. This, you can see this in a much better bit rate, I think, than you can on Twitter. Also, I'm also afraid that my internet's shit and that it doesn't play back as well. That's another fear. So yeah, you can see the there's some vertex snapping going on here. You can also see that there's a little bit of texture fading in. This is me kind of trying to emulate and recapture the sort of visual aesthetics of Spyro. Thank you, Zombizzle. Although I kind of did a fuck up and I haven't really applied this system to all of the trees. Yeah, so you can see that there is this sort of fading effect that's happening. Whoa, as as the camera moves, there's this sort of popping that's kind of happening across the area. So we bring this back, and if I unhide, you can see that there's this radius that's kind of describing where the stuff's kind of popping in, and this is yeah. And this is what's happening right here. So if I go and I turn this off, it's currently set to render as a bound. If I undo that and make it textured, there's actually just a circle kind of cruising about. And of course, what's going on with the circle is we kind of have this sort of blackened ring along the outside of it. So what's actually happening is cat's kind of... Where's my cat one? My cat just sort of running across my windowsill at the moment. Alright, so what's actually happening here is if we go into the ground, I have something called a level of detail proximity thing going on. This is actually a data transfer, what the fuck was it called? Data transfer, that's what it's called. So what's happening, if we go into the shader of this thing, I'm using the shader editor of Blender to basically, all right, here's what happens. So we take this thing right here. We have the distance, we have a distance mask vertex color node. So we're pulling the distance mask, which is this right here, and it is being affected by the level of density here. So this modifier right here, is taking the color of this circle right here, and it is applying it to the geometry. And as that, we can see that this is sort of going all throughout it as it moves. And this is what allows us to just sort of see the details appear in the geometry. So you can see it passes through and just sort of lights up like that. So we can just hide that real quick. And as for the vertex snapping, I've done a video on this before, but it wasn't as refined as it should be. So if we look at the displacement mod here, we have a global coordinate vertex thing. Wait, is that right? Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's a fucking completely different one. I'll talk about that one in a second. So for the vertex snapping, we have it set to the camera because that is the sort of internal data that it needs to know based on where it is in the camera, based on where it's being rendered. So when the camera, if the camera isn't moving, nothing happens. So you can see it start to slow down as the camera kind of tweens to a stop near the end. And as it sort of speeds up, it kind of snaps, starts snapping all over. And that is happening based off of a texture that I got going on here. Where is it? Take a look at this. We're using a Voronoi texture, which looks like this. If we scale this down really, really small, you can see it's just a whole, craplet of colors, which is very nice because it has very sharp changes in detail. And then if we look at the modifier, is based on direction from RGB. So all those different colors set to a different, all those colors set to a different XYZ value. So if it's all red, it moves positively in like the Z direction or something like that. Now, for the trees, I did something a little fun with these. So the trees, they have a distance. I don't think. Well, they do have a distance mask. Okay. I think I'll do that just real quick. I think I got. What was I talking about? Oh, I'll talk about the tree real quick before I get distracted on something else. So, here's the thing with the trees. So the trees, it's all one basic tree. They all share the same mesh, tree 1. So all the trees are the exact same, except for a few changes. So what happens here is we have a tree, and if I want a new one, I just duplicate it, and we can move it around. It has a displacement modifier here set to this cloud texture, and same principle applies with the vertex color. The displacement is dependent upon its position in the global space, so if I move it around, you can see how it changes, so I don't have to, it's basically doing very procedural adjustments to the material. I suppose if it, added some sway, you can see it move around or whatever. So based on its global positioning, it changes color. It also, depending on just sort of, random instances, oh shit, I accidentally deleted something. Just based on sort of random instantiation, it can also change color. So if I duplicate a couple of these, you can see that it slightly adjusts its color to it just changes its color. So that's based upon the object info here. And I suppose what I could have done, I thought about plugging it into location, so it's dependent upon its location to change color, but then it becomes much more, it's dependent on the color now, so now it doesn't really, it's not a good idea. What happened if I did it by object index? I don't think that won't really change anything. Another thing you'll notice is that there's like a little shadow here. Whoa. So we have a little drop shadow here. So these, I believe, are set to not use shadow. Yeah, no shadow. I think the drop shadows. Oh, yeah, the drop shadow shouldn't have any shadows either. So you can see that they have a shadow. It's kind of dependent upon where it is. Kind of strictly based from up and down. So what's happening here is that is based from a shrink wrap modifier. So it is strictly targeting this area with vertex group. We have the shadow shrink wrap, and if I can do this in vertex group analysis, there we go. So we can take a look here. We can see that the vertex shrink wrap is applied 100% to there, and it is not affected by vertex snapping of any kind. So what's happening here is my spit's a little spicy at the moment. I had some what are these? Oh, did the music just get louder all of a sudden? Why? Ow. Got like a lot louder all of a sudden. I don't know why. I was having flaming hot Doritos and it just like made my spit spicy. So yeah, we have a shrink wrap modifier set to project from the Z-axis of the object directly down into the ground. That way we have these drop shadows here. One thing that I wanted to do I like this music. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to do now is I wanted to set up a data transfer modifier for the trees that have fading textures, just like, yeah, it's way too loud? Okay, thank you. that a good balance? I haven't streamed in like fucking months, so I don't have my audio balancing in order. Ugh, excuse me. Okay. So to get the level of density system working for the trees, they're all using the same information and whatnot, and I have a distance mask node here from the Vertex color. So I should be able to copy that modifier. Oh wait, that's the wrong order. I have to select the tree first and then think what to copy from. So I went to low density, proximity modifier. And probably want to be able to see this, so that way we know if it is or isn't being affected. Okay, so this tree right here should not be affected right now, but yet it is. Howdily doodly neighboroonies. Oh, hey Pixel Pegasus, how you doing? Thank you for your support on Patreon and whatnot. Okay, so I probably have to set this up a little bit further. Okay, so we have the vertex colors. Yeah, it's not... Okay, we need the color, and then we need the distance mask. There we go. Okay, so this works for this tree, and then we can see it play out as it gets close. Whoop, there we go. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to turn out everything, and then they need to copy this modifier. So it needs to do that. These all should have... Oh, beans. Okay, so it seems that I can't do this simply. Cool. So if I were to do this, I would need to change the modifier for every single tree. That can kiss my ass. We'll just delete every tree and then use this tree as our basis. Okay, so if I copy this tree, when we pull it out, yeah, it won't be affected. Cool. It's an unfortunate loss, but that's what we have to do. Let me make the chat a little bit bigger over here. Also, I'm not having chat display on the screen. I believe I don't have display on the screen. Yeah, I don't have a display on the screen because I'm going to be using this footage in my upcoming video. My PS excavation, I believe was the name I was going for. Someone had a really good idea for the name for this series, and I like it quite a lot. Okay, so unfortunately, we're gonna have to redo the trees for this area, but with the LOD system in place, this will look pretty good. And you can definitely see the sort of procedural nature of the thing going on. Let me try adjusting the ranges here a little bit. Maybe make that a little bit more, and a little bit less. That should give us a little bit more variety to work with. I just hope that it doesn't like turn the trees like purple or something like that. I mean, the bark being purple I can deal with, whatever, but like if the leaves go purple, we got some trouble. Just kind of placing these things all around. There we go. All right. What the fuck? Oh, hold the fuck up. Oh, all these had fucking keyframes, and now they're wanting to sit right in that point. That's cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's good.
Fuck. The keyframe situation has been sorted out. We don't need to worry about that again. So yeah, once I get these sort of trees in place, I have an idea of what I want to do immediately after this, but that'll take a second. The drop shadow is really effective. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. Okay, let's get rid of this. We know that it works, so we don't need it anymore. I don't know how many more I have, but more than enough, I would say. Okay, that was the last one. Whoa, did not do that. We could even maybe rotate them a little bit like that. One second, I'm gonna shut the door. There, I'm back. That tree is like nearly blue. Ah, nuts. Accidentally. You know what? Here. I do not want to be able to select this thing for the time being. We'll just turn off its ability to be selected for the time being. There we go. Okay, so now to adjust the sort of scale of all these things, let's do this. Select a random. Some of them are a bit bigger than they maybe should be. That's too small. If I didn't accidentally edit these in like edit mode or something like that. I think they're fine. Wide trees. Yeah. Man. Those some good ass clouds, huh? I got lazy with the skybox I was working on. Like I could have like integrated them to be a little bit less sort of blobby, but I think they're fine. How does this play out? That tree needs to move over. There we go. Use some trees right over there. I think we're a little bit too far into the let's see here. Which way do I need to go to bring that back in order? Not that way. So this needs to come up. This looking good. is it an environment? Oh, what do you mean by that specifically? Do you mean the background, or like, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean by that. This is the RuneScape view. Okay. It is an environment texture, if that's what you're referring to. You can check it out right here. Got a basic Spyro skybox and a background. Just plug that right in. Oops. Oh, I can here, I'll give you a little bit something extra. Let me show you. I that is a custom-made background and whatnot, and I made it like this. Okay. So here is the skybox. So here we have a camera placed inside of a sphere that you can't see because I'm in a specific mode. There we go. So we have a camera, and it's set inside of this box with a resolution of whatever this is. It is a 2:1 ratio resolution or whatever the hell. And we have all these different blobs or whatever. Now, they were originally set to be principal BDSF, and we are in cycles. So, what this looks like, so as you can see right here, you can't really see anything, just see this. But when we swap into viewport rendering, we can see this, because we are in, let's see here, equirectangular panoramic. You can see all this area going on right there. And we have, the clouds. I was lazy and I just sort of made meta balls and just sort of slapped them all in there. Yeah. And then basically when I was done, I hit render in the viewport, and it took like a minute. It took a minute. It took a decently long time. On my Patreon, I have a wallpaper up of this that you can download. So, yeah. Speaking of Patreon, I've been thinking about, in terms of streaming, what I was going to do with that. Because I thought about doing... Shut up, phone. I thought about, like, just streaming and, like, announcing it everywhere where I stream. But I was thinking that I would back up and do, like, put the archives of my streams on the Patreon. At least that's what I've been thinking. Was the bulb meant to be downloadable? Yeah, I did a fuck up and I forgot to attach it. It is supposed to be downloadable. It should be uploaded now. I'm just a fucking idiot. So yeah, it should be readily available now. Whoopsie doodle. I guess I didn't open up a separate thing. Oh well. Spyro scene. There we go. Yeah, there will be a tutorial for it coming up, being made from this. Okay. Oh, that needs to go down. Okay, so the one thing that I wanted to do now, I wanted to make flowers. Now, I did some footage recording. Where is it? Should be in the footage. No, it was when I was playing. I think it'd probably be part 1. Here, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Yeah, it was right there. Yeah, you can see how I was sort of looking at the flowers and whatnot. I basically wanted to make some of these. You can see how they're kind of flowing about and whatnot. I think I have an idea to do that. So I want to try that real quick. It's going to require some displacement. So what we're going to do, turn that back on, and we'll add, let's make a collection. Call this flowers. And then we will add a curve, a mesh, or whatever. Whoa. Now, the thing is with these things is they are going to be strictly Vertex colors. doesn't like me doing it that way. There we go. Plug the vertex colors in, and it should probably turn black. Yeah, there it is. It's turned black. We'll call this. There we go. Okay. So the first order of business that I want to do with this, let's take it, divide it in half that way. No, not vertex groups. There we go. Let's vertex paint this like that. Swap the color and get maybe a little bit of a darker one. There we go. Snake? Snake? That's cool. I wasn't gonna fucking scream. That would have sounded like shit on the recording. Alright, so we have a little bit of grass here. Of course, the grass has a thing. They bend inward a little bit like that. And of course, we need to give it some profile here. Something like that. And then tip. We're going to there we go. I think you want this to be sharp. There we go. Then I think, whoa. There we go. Something like that. There we go. That's a pretty good grass. I really need to take some art courses to learn how to create cohesive style. I didn't. You do not need to take classes to do anything in terms of learning art and whatever. All you have to do is practice and do things. That's literally all you have to do. Now, you might need to do some research and whatnot, and, you know, come to terms in what kind of style you would want to do, but you do not need to take courses at all. You do not fall into the idea or trap that you need to pay to, you know, do anything like that. So I want to take this little strip of grass right here, and I want to kind of add a bit of a gradient on this because it's unfortunate that Vertex Colors does not seem to come with a gradient tool at all, which is kind of fucking beans. It's kind of shit. But you have to learn to deal with it. Hello, Eldezi. In the sense that I'm slow to uptake, so sometimes I need to beat over the head with a concept before I grasp it. I have in other aspects been able to teach myself, but just learning, yeah. Stuff that's also within my ability and ends up being a style. I learned more about programming while making Flash games in the 2000s than any of my later college courses. Yeah, doing things is the best way to learn because it reinforces in your head how to do things. Okay, so since there's no gradient tool in Vertex Colors for fucking God knows what reason, there's literally no excuse. Like, watch this. So we can go to fucking weight painting. Weight painting has a gradient system. Look at this. It has gradient. Go into Vertex Paint. It doesn't have a gradient system. Fucking why? I don't know. I'm just upset. Okay, so to make up for this fact, we're going to go and give this a data transfer modifier. Set it to this plane here. We're going to use face corner data vertex colors. We're going to set this to multiply. And then we're going to use vertex paint to tell this thing. Nope. Okay. We are going to make the gradient here, like that. And we're probably going to want to do that. There we go. That's a little bit more of a softer gradient. And maybe we want to bring it down like that. Whoa. Like that, maybe. I think that's good. There's probably a plugin for it. You know what? Hush my mouth. I complain about things and then I don't look. Let's look. Let's actually look. What the fuck? It's like a shitload of notifications going on. There's like a whole bunch of people like replying to that thing that I made, of course. Okay. Blender, Vertex, color. Vertex color. Add-on Blender adds numerous features to assist working with Vertex colors. Fuck. That's like a sidebar. Adjust hue, saturation value, brightness, contrast, dirty Vertex colors, linear gradient. Value? Channel. I don't know. What else? There it is. Okay. A great looking blade of grass. Hey baby, nice grass.
Hey, can you pass me some of that grass over there?
Okay. So I think all we gotta do is we just apply the data transfer modifier. We can get rid of that. There we go. Bam, we got one nice singular blade of grass. We'll paste this through it. Use modifier. Pull that one. Should give some of the. I'm gonna be lazy. We'll do a huge saturation. We'll make it a little bit darker. There we go. That gives it some of that sort of red evening afternoon kind of hue. There we go. Yeah, there we go. I want to touch that grass. All right. Now, whoa. Give me the origin. There we go. All right. Here's what we can do. Put the origin there. All right. Oh, I did not mean to copy that as an object. Make a whole bunch of these, or copy them around, or spin them around this area. Whoa. Let's turn that on, because I'm afraid I might merge some things together. There we go. Alright, set this to connected only, and turn that on. What the hell? Maybe make some of these much shorter than the other ones. Make some of these split out more. And maybe not that way. Just some of the leafage going on here. got a split end. Second, I gotta snap that in there. There we go. I got it fixed. Let me take a look at that footage one more time to get a better reference. I might. Could be possible I'm doing too much grass. Yeah, they got like not much grass. I put too much grass. That's like decimate this. There we go. Put too much. What's this music? Hello, Spyro.
Hello, Mario.
The music is, let's see here. Pizza Hotline level select. I'll just sort of slap that into the chat room real quick. I had asked in the Discord chat because the developer actually I think popped in and said, "Hey, I made this music." And I asked if I could use it in my stream, and then I don't think they replied. Yeah, Pizza Hotline. I asked them if I could ask them in the tutorial videos or the stream, and the jury's still out. So I might get DMCA'd and like fucked in the ass. But you never know. We'll see how we'll see how it comes out. All right. That in.
I'd like to begin with a fact. Whether in a small town like McAllen in the Rio Grande, or in Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles, it is business, big business.
All right, let's take this one. Alright, we got our grasses and whatnot, and we have a lot of work way to work with, or what the fuck did I just say? We have a lot to work with. Let's sort of maybe bring these in a bit more. Now, what we need to do, I'm just getting weird flashbangs in Blender stream with a game I spent unhealthy amounts of time playing. Very used to kind of bums me out. I want people to be paid for their work, but at the same time, having the music in the background isn't why people came here, and they aren't using the stream to listen to it freely. So why DMCA? I don't think this falls into the lines of DMCA. I have no idea. It is free advertisement. People are asking what the music is, so and considering that they're in my fucking Discord, I would hope to think that they would. Hey Hayden Spin, how you doing? Hayden Spin? Yeah. Okay, so we need to now, since we have the grass, we need to actually work on getting this to work right. So we need a displacement modifier based on a texture. Probably want this to be on an object, but I don't have anything. We want the texture. I think we want the texture to be a cloud. See, it's well, it's not good. All right, for funsies, let's set that to the camera because the camera actually moves. If we can see it just sort of vibing. We don't want this to be set to normals because that would mean it goes in and out. Normals, they have two different directions based on the thing. So based on as it is right now, this kind of goes in and out. We want this to be on X, Y, and Z. Yeah, you can see it actually has movement in and around. But the problem is that it's a bit too much. So we're probably going to want to set up a gradient for the actual plants themselves. So we're going to need another we don't need to fucking do that. We just have to use the fucking gradient modifier because there's actually a fucking gradient tool. Displacement. Let's call it mod. There we go. We got a vertex group for the modifier. We'll just slap it in there. Now it doesn't do anything, and then we just sort of draw it like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, good shit. There we go. So now we should watch it be able to vibe, but it's not gonna look windy. I don't think it's gonna.
Looks like shit.
Okay, so one of the problems with that is okay. We're gonna have to make our own custom texture for this to work because that does not look good. Can I make it bigger? Can I force it to be bigger? I can force it to be bigger. Okay. If I set, okay, I can set this to color. We have color. If I turn off, okay, doing that seems to force it down, so I think it, yeah. So it would seem that doing it that way doesn't really work. And I can't really force particular colors. If I did 0.5, yeah, that doesn't really work. Deflated grass. Yeah, it's not going good. So yeah, the thing is we can't use that as it is right now because it is, if we scale this out, yeah, there's a change. The blue values changing is going to affect the Z values of the grass, and we don't want that because it goes up and down. So if we set these to 0, what does that do? Yeah, you can see how the Z values kind of make it go up and down and whatnot. We don't want that. Is Twitch changing DMCA stuff to be more strict? This is not the first time today I've seen it brought up. I do not know, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if DMCA is going to be more strict, but I don't know. Okay. So you can see all the different channels. So what we need to do is we need to make our own texture where the Z values stay the same and the Y and Z values are what are changing. So we're going to need to bring out we're going to bring out GIMP to do the task, and we will just get rid of that for the time being. Okay, so we're going to need a new file. I probably want this to be a relatively big file, so we'll try with 1.8. Okay, so for RGB values, I think what I want to do, I think if we keep the blue values at 0.5, what's these? 50, there we go. Keep that at 0.5. Alright, we'll make 2 new layers. Not. Oh, is 10.24 the actual power of 2 value? All right. Fuck. All right, so we have that, and if we set this to additive, and then this one green, we should be able to, you know, like we could paint like, oh yeah, here's the Y and Z values. There we go. Let's see what kind of filters I can do. Let's try a wave. We can make waves. I think this is a filter. I think this would affect an image. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Oh, it's like an animation? What? No. I don't want that at all. Okay, filters. I want to generate stuff here. I'm not sure the best way to do that. Define generic. Render? Interesting. What does that do? Ooh. What's that? Kind of rad. I didn't know about that. Bevel, border, oh, what if I had like noise? I think this. Let me try that again. Let's just cell noise, sure. Go. Fuck, I clicked the wrong thing. Ah, that's more detail. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, sweet Christ. Okay, let's do 0.05. Go. Now we want levels here. There we go. That's very much like a cloud. Do the exact same thing here again. Cell noise. Let's get a repeat of what we just did, and we'll just slap some seeds around here. Flame generator is really useful for form signatures. Okay. We want these to tile seamlessly. There we go. There we go. That's some cool artifacting you have going on there. There we go, that should help. Okay, so how do I do this? Okay, so these are white value things now. So we're kind of in a situation where I need to like do some subtraction. So take this, we set this to target only subtract. There we go. So if we subtract the blue and red, we should get green. Okay, this needs to be set to add. There we go. I'm going to duplicate this, but instead, I'm going to get rid of the Z value and put in the Y. And instead of purple, we're going to use whatever this color is. There we go. I'm not sure how this will work, but I'm at least curious to see if it will do anything. This is such a stupid idea. Yeah, we'll do a wind. Yeah, wind texture. Yeah, give me a wind texture. Place your bets. How shit do you think this will look? Let's do an image. Let's open wind texture. Kind of works. Problem is it's strictly affected by 5 doll hairs. Not terrible. Probably turn down the strength a bit. It's too noisy. So if we run a Gaussian blur on this, maybe set it, let's say 25. Probably another thing I should probably set up right now is the fact that it's dependent upon the camera. Don't want that. I want to do an arrow. So we set it to this object right here. Part of me wants it to be dependent, like if we sort of spin it around it. Right, that's kind of interesting looking. Yeah, moving it up on the Z does nothing because the blue values aren't changing, I think. I think that's why it doesn't do anything. So it only works if it like moves. If it moves on the X and Y values. Okay, I'll just export this again. And let's reload it. And I think that should be tamer, I think. It should be less... Yeah, it doesn't really look like wind, though. Works, which is fun. But it's too strange. Okay, let's do a gradient. Linear maybe. Have repeat. I believe we want sawtooth. Not sawtooth. No. Okay, so good. That's what we'll get. That's not what we want. We want triangular wave. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, so let's start from. Needs to be able to. Shit, hold on, I lost the gradient. Fuck, I drew all over the thing. Pretty close. And then maybe over here we'll do sort of in between like that. Alright. Export that as the wind texture. We'll see if this does anything. I have absolutely no idea. Alright. Open up wind texture. It is waving, but it's kind of got this sort of diagonal thing going on. Why is my phone making noise? Ah! I threw my phone. I don't need it making noise on me at this moment. Alright. Here we go. That's kind of alright. Yeah, that could work. Maybe boost a little bit more. Yeah, I think we got something. Okay. So this will be that's the wind driver, and yeah, and then we're going to do. We're going to want another empty, and going to. It doesn't matter, I guess we can do. Yeah, like this. So if we move it along the X, kind of only waves back forward. So we're going to need to move it out like that. So depending on the direction. which direction it goes, how it affects anything. So if we move it on that, it moves like that. Moving along this axis kind of waves it back and forth that way. You might want to add some, maybe just a little bit of variance to the blue moving up and down. I'm not sure the best way to do that. Square. Okay, let's make another one of these, except this one is going to be for the blue. That. Those two. What I want, would value be better? Okay, 1 second. Let me turn these two off. If I go at it with a value brush, say hue saturation value, if I do this, will the brush okay, I think it does. Alright, that's what we'll need. We'll need the set the value. We can bring these back. Have the gradient. And we have it set to square. Huh. Let's try that. Can always undo if I need to. Wait, no. This won't do because that doesn't tile. Okay, what is the resolution of this divided by 2? Well, not divided by 3. 341. Shit. New. Okay, so that's what we need. And I need a. Let me just round down. I don't think there's like a median point in this because it's an odd number. I'm gonna need to image. Image. We'll do 340. There's that. Okay, so 340 divided by half would be what? 170. Shit. There we go. Huh. I don't do that. Oh, ow. that. Okay. Tile 124. There we go. Let's take that. Get rid of that. Paste it in there like that. Set it to value. Oh wait, shit! I set the brush to value. God damn it! I did it bad again. And we set just ever so slightly something like that. Let's try that. So that should affect the Z values a little bit. Wait a second. No. So when they move, when the Z's move, they should be affected proportionately to the values of this. So what I think I should do, duplicate these, put them in here. Oh god, what the fuck's happening anymore? Okay. Set that to add, maybe. They're going to need to be set to subtracted. There's a lot of just galaxy brain thinking right now, and I don't know if I can follow. Fuck is subtractors? Actually, wait. Set these to normal. We're going to put them inside the group. Put them inside this. Set that to add. These should come. Didn't do a thing. Cool. Where is it? I missed. There we go. So we have that. And then we take this and set this to subtract. Curious how this is somehow, like, how did this turn into like circles? How did, like, this is supposed to be, I don't understand how that happened. Alright, something like that. Alright, let's export this. Oh, hi, me. That's not what I wanted. There we go. Come back here, select this, and then let's reload this texture. So I think it should, regardless. let's try setting this to like 100% or whatever. I think it'd be better to set it to multiply. I don't know. Seems to give me a lot more control. Oh wait, hold on. I think I did the opposite of what I needed it to do. Yeah, I think it did because that. Okay. Try loading. Well, the good news is that it does drop now as it moves. So that's good. We're on the right track. But will it be enough? Is my question. Really not noticeable, huh? Huh. Just rotating it in place actually does something. That's cool. Okay, let's take that and parent it to this thing right here. And then let's set up a driver. What the hell is it? Ah, it's not being shown. Okay, extras, bones, or there we go. So this should be parented to this. I can't see that because there's no relationship line. Let's take this, copy it as a driver, and paste it into the Z value. That's the Z value of the rotation. And I imagine that's going to go apeshit pretty quick. Yeah. So it's going to operate on radians, I think. So we have to convert that. I can't remember how. Script. I think we need to multiply it by 180 divided by pi? Oh god. Oh, I think did I multiply it? I think I did. Okay, cool, we got it. Okay, so now for every frame it adds a degree. So how does that look in terms of gameplay? Where is that? Yeah, it's going fucking mental. So we're gonna need to slow that down by let's say 100%. So I think I divide that by 100, right? That's way too slow. 25 maybe. Looks like seaweed. But it does work. We do have it working. Is it particularly good? No, I wouldn't say it's that good. But it works. There's a lot of fucking notifications going on over there. I saw my Twitter and it was like 50 notifications. Like, oh god, what's happening? I think what I want to do is I need to increase the difference. Let's merge group layer. I don't want to see anything else right now. Oh, right. Spike in the black area right there. Back. Let's set this to 100% white. Shit. There we go. So now if we bring this in. Oh no, let's try this, see how it works. Ah shit, I did it bad. Oh no. I don't know about that one, Chief. Let's stick with this. Ah, fuck. Ow. My cat wants in. 1 second. Sir, you have deflated your grass. On accident. Meow. Meow. Can you hear that? What do you want? Come here. I turned on my camera, but it isn't plugged in. Cat came to say hello. Jesus Christ, I just petted you and I have a handful of hair. Why'd you have to go to that window? I can't open that window. Over here. You want out? That window. You want out, you go out that window. That's fine, you just look forlorningly out the other one. Whatever. Okay. Now, let's add, after this whole fucking debacle, let that be there, but taller. Oh, Jesus. That's basically how the flowers looked in that game. Alright. Vertex paint. Do that. You went out now? I opened the window and you didn't go a minute ago? Oh, fucking god, this fucking cat. Ah. Oh, wrong thing. There you go. Now I should also. I think I also need to add the vertex snapping from the environment. There we go, we got wind. Oh, I turned off the ability to select. Yeah. Oop, wrong thing. What? There it is. Alright, copy selected. Why can I not select the constraints without default? Why? Okay, fine, we'll just do it the fucking hard way. There we go. Oh, wait. Whoops. There we go, vert snap. Based on the object that is the camera. RGB. That is intense on that. We're gonna probably turn that down. Should I even have like vertex snapping is so minimal. It's kind of disturbing. Yeah, no. I think we'll just get rid of it. I don't think we'll need it. One thing that I could do, I could design these to like have different colored flowers. Like what I could do is I could let me do that, and then we'll call this will use the grass, and for the grass we would need this area right here. We want this to be all white. Oh, there we go. Flower, we'll just take this, set up flower. We're going to take a mix RGB node, set this to multiply. 1 second. All this is going to have to be white. There we go. So flood. Whoa. Flood these in. Shouldn't be any problem. Okay. Vertex paint. That. And then we're passing through a hue saturation node. I think, actually. Might need to, for the flower, actually give it some color. Well, that didn't work. Second. Yeah, something like that. I think I want to have the correct saturation because I don't want too much. Something like that. Like that. A little bit brighter. I've changed my mind, I'll pass them through a diffuse. I don't know. Fine. No. I can't make up my goddamn mind. Okay, so what we'll do now, we will set this up to be need object info. We want random. So if we slap this, that into that. If we duplicate these, we should get random amounts of color and saturation. There we go. Yeah. And then we'll leave the hue as they are. I think that'll be good. I think you want a mapping node. Wait, no. Map range, that's probably what it is. We plug in this, that into there. Input. Okay. So these are for the values of the inside, these are for the outside. Set that to that. Then that'll kind of extrapolate the sort of input, which is a value between 1 and 0, and sort of stretch it out to fit 1 to 0 to 1. So do this, we should get a lot more vibrant colors. Yeah. That's pretty good. I like that. Alright. That's kind of the solution. Suppose if I wanted to have control over what kind of colors I wanted, I would probably run the map range value again through the hue value, and that would constrict the values of the color around the sort of red area, because I believe by default don't need vertex color. I'm going to take it and I'm going to force it to be hue 0. So there we go. Force it to be, those colors. And then if we wanted to say force it to be shading. So we take it, we plug it into the hue, same values from 1 to 0, because that's what a random function generates. We would put in, let's say, minimum of -0.2 and 0.2, and I think hold on, it would probably be 0.3, 0.7. That's probably more along the lines of what it should be.
I'd like to begin with a fact. Whether in a small
So
town
put
like
to 3, we
McAllen
can have
or
range
Grand,
divided
or in
blue,
Chicago, New York, or Los
yellow.
Angeles, it is
So it would be
business,
between
business.
red, or like this sort of magenta color. That color. Kind of want the sort of stem color to only be affected by this. So plug that in there. Because that, yeah, none of this should affect this because it's white, right? Yeah, I think that would work.
that should work.
I'd like to begin with a fact. Whether in a small town like McAllen or the Rio Grande, or in Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles, it is business, big business.
Makes it really saturated. Maybe we don't want it to be that saturated because it kind of loses some of that value. A little bit like that. What kind of values do we have? Hold on. 1, yeah, 1 and 0. That's what I thought. Okay. Alright, let's plug that back. Let's plug this in. And then this should give us random colors between yellow and blue. I don't know, I kind of want to just have like a random range of colors. I think that might be fun. Or I could have it just like, style it in. I think I'm being a little bit too lax. 0.9 and then 0.1. So if I generate a lot of these, yeah, let's do 4, 9, and then 5, 1. This will be, there we go. What color is it? Yeah. Well, I think we can have different. I think we can have the same mesh, but we can change the materials, right? Let me try that here in a second. Let's get rid of that. I'd like to add. Another flower. Let's do flowers 0, 1. We'll have a variant with 1 flower. We'll have a variant with 2 flowers. And then we'll have some flowers with 3. now we have a set of 3 different types of flowers. So if I should be able to make a duplicate of this, and then we can maybe have a different one. And let's say 0.1 to 1. There we go. That's what I'm afraid of. So I can't have a different object with a different material. I have to change the mesh value as well. That's beans. That's really beans. Same instance of the mesh. Okay. Well. We at least have 3 instances of different flowers that we can use now, and if we want to change it up, we can duplicate it and then make it a different instance, and then we can make it blue flowers. That would work. And that looks pretty good, I think. And I should also make an instance of grass. And just have grasses if we just want them. Although I should probably change the mesh before I do that. Hold on, I think there's a duplicate. There we go. We got some grasses, and they flow and change and all that. And that looks all good and whatnot. Now we get a screenshot of how they look. Bring this over here. Those grasses look pretty good. They probably look better if they were actually in the ground. I suspect if I hit render, yeah, it's going to change the camera. Let's disable that now. Cool. So yeah, that's what the flowers look like. It's one of the things that I definitely wanted to get done. Flowers was kind of the main event that I had in my mind. Yeah, those are done, so we're pretty good. Even maybe render a GIF. Let's render a let's do a GIF for Twitter. What do you think? Do that. Actually, GIFs have incredibly shit quality, so I'll have to render a video. That looks better. So we do that. We'll have a pixely thing. Yeah. Okay, so basically what we're doing is we're taking the scene from our original, we're popping it into a new scene with a sequencer. We're scaling it down. Actually, no, we're scaling it up because the original scene is using a low resolution to render. It's using 426 by 240. Popping it into the sequencer and using a transform strip, we're scaling it up to fill the entire screen, and then set the interpolation to none, so that way when we hit record, we should see the flowers moving. Yeah, I think these are pretty damn good. And then we'll throw them into Twitter for, all that stuff. Jesus fucking Christ. I just keep looking over Twitter and people are going ape shit over that fucking post. Jesus Christ. I've had 50 people join and follow me today over that one post. Holy fuck. It's like the most popular fucking post I've ever made on Twitter. Mental. I'll just post like, oh, I made flowers, and just like, I'm not gonna, I don't need to do any like hashtagging or whatever. Because I don't want to overstay my welcome or just like just spam like panderous shit. Like there's no reason to do that. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, that's just a ridiculous amount of people. Jesus Christ. Let's see here. Should I make a hashtag? What do you guys think? Might as well. You're probably right.
If you're gonna be a whore, you better be a good whore.
Alright. Low poly and PS1. There you go. Might as well. Was PS1 Aesthetics the one I did, or was it Come? Come. Ah, fucking Christ. Was it Aesthetics or Aesthetic that I did? Okay, it was Aesthetic, not Aesthetics. Okay. Say hello to Twitter, everyone. That's appropriate. Well, okay. What do I want to work on now? Okay, so we got the trees in place. We got some flowers we can throw around. I should probably if I'm actually like going to do flowers, what I should probably do is make like a particle system somewhere. I think that would probably be good. Let me just sort of let me at least make the other two first. Okay, do that. This will be blue flowers, and that will be and then to follow that, we want to do red flowers. And then there we go. I think we'll make a couple different variants of grass, which will just rotate about this point. So I think that would be enough to make it slightly different in terms of animation. Whoa. That's the good shit. That's some good shit right there. Okay. So what we'll do now is we take these and give these the blue flower. There we go. And do we have a flowers, cool. I'm just gonna copy their mesh name and copy them as an object. I hate that I have to like I'm forced to like have two separate names for each thing. Ah, beans. Grand plan is at some point or another I want to do an animation in this style, and the good thing is I'm slowly accumulating some resources to be able to do it. And these are some really fucking good, plants and all that stuff. These are fantastic. There we go. Okay. So then we'll just take everything in here and we'll just pull them through the floor. These are meant to be particles, and they're not meant to be displayed on the actual, thing. What? Wait a second. Oh, there's. Well, these are no longer necessary. They do not need to be manipulated or edited. We'll just turn off the ability to even select them. As it goes, it takes a while and it comes back to there. All right, let's change this to particles. There we go. We'll add a new collection. Also, okay. Yeah, there you go. This will be grass, and then all of the grasses. And move that to meta. There you go. It's a driver. We don't do anything else there. So all the grasses get moved to the grass one. Yeah. Hey. Okay. New collection for you. Then these will be flowers. Okay. Should I have... I should probably have individual collections for different flowers. New part. We'll do a new collection here called... call red. There we go. Slap it in there. Because I think what I can do... what I can do is I can set the particle system to use a specific collection, but if I set it to like flowers or red or blue, it should select either. It could display either. So let's try that right now. Let me just get some white painting here, and we'll make a vertex. Do I have the right thing selected? Oh, yeah. Got grid selected. We're going to want a particle system for flowers. There we go. And then if we go into weight paint, just add a fuckload of flowers right in there. I just drew it. I accidentally just drew a dick. Of course. So if we add particle system for flowers, want hair, that's a lot. We want, let's say 50 flowers. We want them to be displayed as a collection. We want the collection, okay, let's try just selecting flowers. And we want them to be 1-on-1 scale. Oh, Christ. Okay, good. It does select in between those. Yeah. Now, why are they being displayed like that? These are upright, right? Could have rotated kind of like slightly. That was about it. They're just rotated slightly. Well, that's not correct. Okay. Scale down like that. Vertex group density. We want particle flowers. So now it's all spread around the dick that I drew for vertex painting on accident, of course. Where is it? Under scale object rotation? That doesn't do it. Global coordinates. No. Pick random. No, not whole, not whole. Of course, here we can set the ratio for which we want. Children, no. Hair. No. Where do I set the rotation for these things? Extra. Viewport. No. God, I hate the particle system so fucking much. Field weights. Yeah, that's all that. Oh, wait. Do I have to go up here? Hair dynamics? Do I have to enable that? Shape, field weights. Oh, I didn't want it to be rotated correctly. Oh, no, it's advanced. That's what it is. Yeah, it needs to be rotated to object Z. No. There it is. Yeah, if I do normal, they all lay flat for whatever fucking reason. Said Y. Object Y. Do particles have to be rotated on their side for them to fucking be effective? Is it like archaic in that way? I guess it doesn't really matter. I can just use object Y. Like I could just do object Y. Like, that's no problem for me. Not that. Oh, sweet Christ. Okay, so doing that is bad. I don't want that. But I want them to be able to rotate. They need to have that variance. So why the fuck? Ah. Beans. Okay, let's try this. Let's go down here to the fucking flowers. So we take these and rotate them. Rotate them that way. I don't think I did anything. You know what? I don't like that. Because doing that, like, doing that fucks up the entire texture that I did for the wind. Why is the particle system fucking awful? I hate it. Okay, let's try global Z. Global Y? Fucking atrocious. So fucking stupid. Like the fact that it doesn't, like, you know, like it won't rotate. It's vexing. I don't know. Source faces jittered. Another thing that I would want to do is actually let's do a new. Foliage. Let's throw that in there. There we go. There we go. Instead, use the foliage. That should add more grass. And then we can use count. That's cool. That's a cool distribution. Yeah, that's cool. This particle system is shit. Wow. guess if I was using grass, I'd probably have to do children. Let's fuck around with the grass, right? Yeah, kick me down to the bottom of the fucking list, so it's harder to erase them all. Yeah, that's good. Cool design. Yeah, good design. Yeah. God damn it. So we got 100 grasses, and then we do children, simple. That sure makes them all around. Interpolate. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Where's the camera at? Let me throw the camera in here. That's pretty nice. You can see how they slightly move. I wonder how that looks in render. Let's just sort of throw that into the sequencer just to get an idea. This is gonna fucking get murdered for rendering because it's rendering so much shit at once. Let's check Twitter for a minute. Yeah, people want that. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna be using grass in this way because it's a nightmare, but yeah. So yeah, if I'm going to be using flowers, I'm going to need to do children by interpolation. That's probably what needs to happen. So we'll just play that back to get an idea. Yeah, that's fantastic. I think that's really cool. All right. So yeah, if we do grass, that's how we'll have to do it. Well, not grass, flowers. Where was I? That's it. Render, that's what it was. Active instance, double click to rename. But I can't go. Okay, so how do I add an instance? Did I fuck myself because I did that? I think I did. Okay, cool. All I had to do was do that. All right. Oh, that's some good shit right there. I think I might just end on this note. Most of the people who came to watch are gone. It's like what, Wednesday? Yeah, it's a fucking school day and work day, so yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go myself. Been streaming for about 2 hours, so I'll probably be going now. I'll probably work on this some more off stream or whatever, but yeah, think this is just a cool demonstration of, you know, having worked on the sort of wind effects. Good. So yeah, with that, I guess I'll just see everyone. So goodbye, everybody.